Imagine living in a place where winter isn't just a season, it's a daily battle for survival. A place where if you leave your car turned off for more than 20 minutes, the engine freezes solid and might never start again. Where boiling water instantly turns into a firework of ice when thrown into the air, and where your breath freezes the moment it leaves your lips, making a cracking sound locals call the whisper of the stars. Welcome to Oymyakon, a remote village in the depths of Siberia, and the official holder of the title for the coldest permanently inhabited settlement on planet Earth. Here, the record temperature once plummeted to an absurd minus 71.2 degrees Celsius. That's minus 96 degrees Fahrenheit. How does daily life function when nature tries to freeze your blood every single second? Stick around, because today we are exploring what it's like to live inside the world's ultimate deep freezer. To understand Oymakon's isolation, we first need to look at the map. It's located in the Sakha Republic in eastern Siberia. Just getting here is an extreme feat. The only way in is via the infamous Road of Bones, a highway built during Stalin's era by Gulag prisoners, many of whom tragically perished during its construction. But why does it get this cold here? Interestingly, Oymyakon isn't actually located at the North Pole. Its terrifying climate is caused by two geographical factors that create the perfect freezing storm. First, the inverted valley. The village sits in a valley surrounded by massive mountains. Cold air, which is heavier than warm air, flows down the mountain slopes and gets trapped at the bottom of the valley like a frozen lake. This is a phenomenon known as a thermal inversion. Second, the extreme continental climate. It is so far away from any ocean that there are no warm maritime currents to soften the brutal winter temperatures. Here, winter dominates the calendar for nearly 9 months. And sunlight? Well, in December, the sun barely manages to rise for about 3 hours before slipping back below the horizon, leaving the village in a freezing twilight world.
Living at minus 50 or 60 degrees entirely rewrites the laws of physics you are used to. At these temperatures, metal glasses will instantly freeze to your face. If you try to rip them off carelessly, they will tear the skin right off your cheeks. Pen ink solidifies in seconds. Smartphone screens lose their color responsiveness, lag terribly, and a battery can drop from 100% to 0% in less than 5 minutes if exposed to the open air. Extreme cold doesn't just destroy electronics, it attacks the human body directly. Breathing deeply without covering your mouth can literally freeze your airways, leading to severe lung burns. And what about transportation? In Oymyakon, owning a vehicle is a massive responsibility. If you don't have a heated garage, there is only one option. You never turn the engine off. From October to April, locals leave their cars running constantly while they go into supermarkets, visit friends, or go to work. If the engine stops and the oil freezes solid, the car becomes a useless metal sculpture until spring arrives.
Despite these brutal conditions, life in Oymyakon doesn't grind to a halt. Surprisingly, about 500 people call this icy desert home. But their daily routine requires flawless planning. For starters, agriculture is completely out of the question. The ground is permafrost, meaning it's permanently frozen solid. Because of this, running water and sewage pipes cannot be buried underground because they would instantly freeze and burst. The consequence? The vast majority of homes do not have indoor plumbing. Residents have to walk outside to use wooden outhouses. Imagine having to step outside at 3 a.m. in minus 55-degree weather just to use the restroom. Because they can't grow crops, their diet is almost entirely carnivorous. They eat Yakutian horse meat, a special breed with incredibly thick coats that survive the elements, as well as reindeer and a lot of fish. One of their most famous traditional dishes is stroganina, which consists of paper-thin curls of raw, frozen fish seasoned only with salt and pepper. This incredibly high-protein, high-fat diet gives them the calories required to maintain their core body temperature. And what about the kids? In most parts of the world, a heavy snowfall cancels school. In Oymyakon, elementary students walk through the freezing fog to class at -45 degrees like it's nothing. Schools only officially shut down when the temperature drops past a staggering -52 degrees Celsius, which is -61 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that is true resilience.
Perhaps the most heartbreaking and logistically challenging aspect of life in Oymyakon occurs when someone passes away. As we mentioned, the permafrost makes the ground as hard as solid granite. Digging a grave is a monumental, grueling task that can take up to 3 full days. To dig into the earth, a large bonfire must first be lit on the ground to thaw the top few inches of soil. Once the fire dies down, the hot coals are pushed aside, and the locals dig out the small amount of softened earth. Then they light another bonfire inside that shallow hole and repeat the process, layer by layer, for days until the grave is finally deep enough for a coffin. It is a haunting reminder that even in death, this land demands everything you have.
Looking at all of this, it's only natural to wonder, why? Why would anyone choose to live here? But for the people of Oymyakon, the answer is simple. It's home. They love the absolute purity of their air, the unmatched peace of their environment, and the incredibly tight-knit community they've built. In a place where nature is so hostile, humans have to be extraordinarily warm to one another just to survive. Oymyakon proves that human adaptability truly knows no bounds. We are capable of thriving and finding beauty in the most unforgiving corners of our planet. If you were amazed by how people survive in the coldest village on Earth, smash that like button, subscribe for more journeys to the most extreme places in the world, and let me know in the comments below, could you handle living here for just 1 week? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.